Over in the pages of DC Comics, the publisher's vast Superman franchise has been one of the bright spots in the current dawn of DC publishing initiative. A couple weeks back, readers got the chance to see some of Power Girl's reaction as so many generations of superhero characters come in together in titles like Action Comics. However, today we're going to go ahead and explore Supergirl's relationship to the rest of her family as well as her front relationship with Power Girl. My name is Mariko Braddock, and today let's go ahead and explore the pages of the Supergirl Special Issue 1. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on our video. Girl Interrupted. After joining the Superman family and their heroic efforts in Metropolis, Kara thought she had found her place in the world. But there's only room in town for one Supergirl, and Power Girl's sudden reappearance has made her redundant. Her identity and role are both out of the question as she looks for answers. Will they lead her out of the city or out of this world? Find out as critically acclaimed writer Mariko Tamaki returns to the Maid of Might with the help of Skylar Patridge. The Supergirl Special Issue 1 is written from Mariko Tamaki, featuring art from Skylar Patridge. We have colors from Marissa Louise, letters from Becca Carey, and a cover coming in over from Jamal Campbell. Really appreciate this battle-worn pose that Kara is striking over on the cover of the Supergirl Special. And I want to extend a quick thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste and preview some of the excellent artwork coming in over from Skylar Patridge. I really found that throughout this Supergirl special, Mariko Tamaki wrote so much subtext into the dialogue and script within this issue. I really think that some of Skylar Patridge's interesting facial details are a great way to pull some of that subtext out over on the page. I think this intro sequence that we have up on the screen, showcasing some of the animosity between both Power Girl and Supergirl that drives the plot of this issue, is just a great way to introduce the frames and themes over in the scene. I absolutely love the fact that it looks like you're essentially scrolling through a social media feed and seeing all these posts with other media articles over in the background. Plus, I think this page also does just an excellent job establishing the fact that there's other Superman characters lingering in the background here too. We can see characters like Steel and Superman himself towards the bottom of the page here. Over on this next page that we have here, we can see the extended Superman family fighting off against Toyman and some of his forces. Once again here, getting to see Partridge draw so many different Superman characters up on the screen is a ton of fun over in this sequence. Plus, I think some of the interesting framing and positioning of the characters really helps drive home my imagination. The way that John Henry Irons is shooting what looks like a laser beam over on this Toyman character, I think is really striking as well here. I also really appreciate the fact that some of the subtext we mentioned earlier from Tamaki is still featured over on this page, with Supergirl's foreboding look over at Power Girl in this issue as well. Over on this next page, we really get just a fantastic establishing shot over from Skylar Patridge, showing the fact that Kara, Supergirl, is really in her own head throughout this issue. Her relationship with Power Girl, as we mentioned in the solicit, is just making her feel a little bit redundant. And this is a really interesting story to tell too, because we also got to see this storyline over from Power Girl's perspective in the Power Girl Special Issue 1. Some of these really large cityscapes, and once again, the way that Partridge is able to capture all the detail on the page, I think is absolutely beautiful. Plus, some of the colors from Marissa Louise in this issue are really unconventional and caught me off guard. I think this page with Kara really enjoying the sunset is just absolutely beautiful. Over on this next page, I love the inclusion of Otho Ra and Oso Ra. These are two newer character introductions over to the Superman franchise. These are young characters that have so much potential here, and really getting to see them ask Kara questions about the origins of where she came from over on Krypton is really stunning here. And the fact that Kara actually divulges some information over on this next page about her home on Krypton, Argo City, is once again an enthralling aspect of the narrative here. I have to hand it over to Mariko Tamaki, as she's able to find an element of Kara's basically alien life that extends over to her personal one, as we get to see the fact that Kara was really into running as a sport over on Argo City in Krypton here. I love some of the layouts over on the page. I think this page in particular that we have on the screen with so many different positions over for Otho and Osel Ra is just beautiful, and it really captures their youthful energy on the page in an interesting way. I also love some of these colors from Marissa Louise once again here. It feels like this comic book has a young adult sensibility to it, from some of the faces and just the unconventional palette lent over to the comic book. But I think that subversive angle really helps gives this Supergirl special an interesting flavor as opposed to what you would see in a main Superman or Action Comics issue. And I also really appreciated the fact that it wasn't just characters like Otho and Osel Ra, but we also got to see Supergirl interact with individuals like Lois Lane as well as Power Girl herself later on in the comic book. I think Kara shares a really heartfelt interaction over with John that captured my emotions here. It feels like John and Kara are on surprisingly equal footing, even despite the fact that John is a bit of a newer introduction to the Superman family. Another element of this issue that really caught my imagination was how essentially Lois went directly over to Kara in order to really kind of help her alienated feelings that she was able to sense during a get together over with the extended Superman family. I absolutely love some of the context and characterization for Lois that Mariko Tamaki was able to sneak into this scene. When Lois ends up bringing Supergirl cupcakes at her lowest moment, it really feels like such a beautiful place over for Kara. I also love some of the interactions over between Power Girl and Supergirl in this comic book. It's so interesting that both these characters have been in a very similar position incredibly recently over in the DC universe. And when Mariko Tamaki and Skylar Patridge really find a way to directly comment on this over in the final pages, I felt like there was some complex characterization for both of these individuals, and I really admired the way that the Superman family handled some of the alienated and isolated feelings over for Supergirl in the first place here. So at the end of the day, I thought the Supergirl Special Issue 1 was a tremendous comic book that added so much characterization over to Supergirl. Really getting to see Supergirl's interactions with people like John, Lois, and Power Girl herself were absolutely touching here. I'm also really happy with the fact that DC is nurturing their expanded Superman franchise over with the dawn of DC publishing. It really feels like this is one of the most exciting parts about DC right now, and having a really robust and active Superman family, I think, is able to really capture my imagination and show just how big and expansive the Superman property has become here. I want to know from you. Did you enjoy this Supergirl special? What were some of your thoughts on how this book reestablished the Superman family of characters? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review over on the Supergirl Special Issue 1. And we'll be back to see what's next for Superman, DC Comics, and Supergirl in the very near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.